Mighty Radio.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Alex Ramirez. Alongside me is my co-host Albert. This is 5 Round MMA. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Before we get started, I want to get down a little business. I want to thank our sponsors. First with Rocking Green eco-friendly cleaning products, 5 Rounds clothing line. Let me see on the camera. And of course the MMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts, Rise Up Against Bullying. Albert, how are you doing, man?
Doing exceptionally well.
Exceptionally well?
My fantasy football couldn't be any better.
Yep.
I predicted I was going to be number one in more than one league, and guess what? I am right now.
You are?
So it's looking good.
I'm quite the opposite. My important league, I did horrible this week. I played the Dallas Cowboys defense.
Why would you do that?
Because I had a quarterback.
Julio is killing it, bro.
Yeah, I know. But what are you going to do? Life is judged by our fantasy teams, is it not right now?
It is. It really is.
All the
it's
seasons
literally
have changed.
consuming my life right now.
Yeah. Well, enough about fantasy. We have some. This is an MMA show. I don't think we're quite the fantasy experts ever.
No. This is without a doubt not a fantasy football podcast. And do not take my advice in anything that has to do with fantasy football.
Yeah.
I joke around. Please do not pick up anybody you hear me say.
All right. So today's show we got a lot to talk about. UFC Fight Night in Japan. Renan Barão moved down to 145, or moved up to 145. UFC 192. Vitor Belfort and Johnny Hunter talking smack to the fans. So let's get started with round number one. What you say? UFC Fight Night was held in Japan this past Saturday night. Main event between Josh Barnett.
the Japanese crowd.
Main event between Josh Barnett and Roy Nelson. A couple of the highlights on there was Gegard Mousasi and Uriah Hall. But let's start with the main event. Was pretty much a 5-round beatdown.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I found it very weird that a lot of people enjoyed this main event, and I read on Twitter and online a lot of positive reviews. But
I liked it.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't like it.
Why not?
I'm not a big fan of the clinch game. Maybe my clinch forte or expertise isn't up to par, and maybe I couldn't respect the clinch game like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really like that. And then the fact that they got tired so quickly. I mean, I knew that was going to happen. But the fact that it happened, I was disappointed.
I liked it because I like seeing these guys hit each other with all they got, and then like none of them move. Like I think
and then
Roy Nelson
they get super tired.
I think Roy Nelson landed like a kick to Josh Barnett's face, and like, they barely even moved anything. Just kept walking forward. Some of his elbows probably landed.
I mean, there was a respect value that I appreciated, but
yeah.
I didn't think it was as entertaining. I think as much people.
It was a fight that I had not really high expectations for. The outcome, I think whether a lot would happen didn't really matter for either man.
You know, maybe that's what it is. I actually had high expectations. For some reason in my head, I had Roy Nelson finishing him either knockout, or I really wanted to see Roy Nelson submit him. I'm not gonna lie to you, like I really wanted to see that.
So like I think it is what it is. It was a fight for the Japanese fans. Josh Barnett.
The Japanese fans hate him. His Japanese is good, dude.
Yep.
I give him props for.
Man spent a better part of 15 years there in Japan,
so he had to pick something.
You would hope he at least picked up some Japanese.
I was glad that well, I wasn't glad, but I was impressed that his Japanese was on.
Yeah, I mean, they may say, "Oh yeah, it's an important fight in the rankings," but it was a fight night in Japan. They needed somebody to main event it.
And before I forget, too, I'm so glad they brought back that Japanese translator. I love her. I mean, just because she has the cool little pin, and then, like, I mean. I think she does I don't know what she says.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's the most accurate translation that we ever get.
Of all the interpreters, I think she's the most likable, I think.
Exactly.
The guy they get from Brazil is kind of...
Yeah, he's kind of vanilla.
Vanilla. But what does for Barnett? Is he back in the title hunt? He said before the fight, I kind of gave up looking for a title shot a long time ago. Now I'm just catching the paycheck.
I wouldn't say that.
Is he saying, UFC, next time you're in Japan, give me a call? Is that what it is? Because he hasn't fought like almost a year, right?
No, that's true. And I think...
Over a year.
I think a lot of these. That's what's funny. Like
almost 2 years.
There's almost like a full league of fighters in the UFC that they're not in title contention, but there's fights out there or novelty fights, like you said, that people will watch. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Barnett versus Frank Mir again, even though it didn't finish very well for Josh Barnett.
Or Frank Mir.
Frank Mir. But I still would like to see it because we saw the resurgence of Frank Mir.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing Josh Barnett versus Arlovsky. Even though some of those could put him in title contention, there's still other fights. I mean, the rematch against Mark Hunt, why not? I'm pretty sure the Japanese crowd will eat that up.
Yeah, they're doing Bigfoot versus Hunt too, so might as well. And it makes you wonder, like, why Fedor didn't sign for the UFC. I mean, no pressure, really.
And they have fighters for him.
I think the heavyweight division is like the most easygoing division right now because all the guys know put on a good fight. I'm not gonna get fired, win or loss because this division is so weak.
Who else is there?
Yeah, because like they're not like a bunch of kids and who's waiting to get signed for the UFC. Like Roy Nelson could, as long as he keeps fighting the way he fights, and the winner loss, he's going to be still have a job. Just
Yeah.
basically because the UFC needs guys in the heavyweight division. So also makes you win. Also, I want to jump to the co-main event now. Uriah Hall knocking out Gegard Mousasi. I'm a big Mousasi fan, so it kind of hurt me talk about this now. But
Yeah. And again, I enjoy when Kenny Florian's the commentator because I feel it's between him and Frank Mir who really are the best play-by-play commentator, as I guess you can say. Because I think they actually explain stuff that I did not see and stuff that as a fan that's not in martial arts clear things up. And he explained it that it kind of seemed like Mousasi was expecting a spinning back fist.
Yeah.
And kind of was already ducking and looking for the takedown.
Yeah.
And it just so happens, like, guess what? Uriah Hall don't do no spinning back fist. He did spinning leg kicks.
Yeah.
And caught Mousasi on the way in.
So I don't think this loss hurts Mousasi at all.
No.
He's still the guy who's going to fight over the seas in Europe and Asia. What about Uriah Hall? Is he now in title contention? Contention.
I think he still needs one more fight. The only thing that kind of benefits him is I think 185 is up for grabs as far as first contender. I'm not saying you can go and get the championship.
Yeah.
But first contender is up for grabs, especially after the Luke Rockhold fight. I'm pretty sure they're going to be someone they need to match up with.
So we'll see. When you see Michael Bisping did the post fight for Fox Sports, he didn't seem to call up Uriah Hall.
You know what's funny? Machida is already calling him out, and Anderson Silva's calling out Bisping. So.
Oh yeah, so might as well let it happen, man. Let's see. So coming up that's it for round number 1. Round number 2, talk about Vitor Belfort and his old drug test coming up again fast. So stick around, guys. Time for round number 2. Guess who's in the news again? Vitor Belfort and his TRT levels. A report from Deadspin last week came out that prior to UFC 152,
the John Boy Jones fight, right?
Yep, to John Boy Jones light heavyweight title bout, UFC 152, I believe it was called, that Vitor Belfort tested for high levels of testosterone before the bout, but the UFC did nothing about it. I think the Nevada State Athletic Commission did nothing about it, and allowed him to fight. But this
was in Brazil, no?
Was it in Brazil?
Or was it in Nevada?
I think it was in Nevada, wasn't it?
We'll double check that in a bit. But,
Double check. But this is obviously fresh off the heels of Nick Diaz being suspended 5 years by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for marijuana use, but yet Vitor Belfort can test positive for high testosterone and is still allowed to fight in a title bout at a main event for a pay-per-view. So Albert,
it was in Toronto.
So Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe
obviously Canada.
But maybe that has something to do with it too, because we have known that if it's outside the United States, usually UFC is the governing body, and then they take care of this. Maybe it has something to do with that, but like you said, the real point here is the fact that he gets a slap on the wrist, and yet they threw the book at Nick Diaz.
Well, this harpens to, like, okay, is the UFC gonna allow stuff if it's gonna put money in their pockets to allow it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, John Jones, he tests positive for cocaine, but let him fight. Vitor Belfort tests high, testosterone levels, but let him fight. Who else? Anderson Silva tested positive before the fight. Well, it's coming up. We'll let him fight. So this is kind of hypocrisy by the UFC here. If it favors them, they'll let it slide, right?
No, yeah, and it's 100% true, and that's why I get frustrated when Dana White tries to put himself in the NHL, NFL level. I'm pretty sure if Marshawn Lynch tests positive for anything banned substance, he ain't playing on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. And second thing is, I like how they let's say that bout would have went differently, and John Jones would have got seriously hurt. I mean, like seriously hurt, where it would affect his career in the long run.
Or if he lost.
Oh yeah. Then what? How do you explain that, or how do you explain yourself? Like, oh, I let this guy fight, and he hurt somebody else, and he was on a banned substance, or whatever. Or maybe I actually, now that I think about it, I don't think at the time TRT was banned. I think it was a legal thing, but because the testosterone level is so high, I think that's the questionable part.
Yeah, because it's obviously at his age, it's something he's using something else to heighten it. So you talk about John Jones. I think he said in a tweet, I said, I'm very, very upset about this.
Yeah.
Like a few years later, I'm still upset about it. I think he did hyperextend his elbow, didn't he?
Yeah, on the armbar.
Because remember, he had an armbar earlier on in the fight.
And that thing was deep. I'm pretty sure. Honestly, I thought John Jones was going to tap.
Yeah. So, I mean, he has a gripe, right, John Jones?
No, yeah. He and I'm not a big John Jones fan to begin with, but he has all the right in the world to be upset that they even allowed him to fight. I mean, like you said, like a loss can mean a big thing, but it could have been bigger than that. It could have been like a serious injury because the guy was on TRT or his testosterone levels was way beyond what it should have been.
And that's also funny too. Remember, was it UFC 151 was the bout was dubbed the event that John Jones killed by Dana White. Remember, because was it Dan Henderson supposed to fight John Jones? But Henderson got hurt, so they put in Chael Sonnen. The judge was,
no, I don't want to fight Chael Sonnen.
Like on short notice because he's known to have steroid or TRT, and then that's the event that Greg Jackson and John Jones killed. So it's kind of weird that I think of all people, Dana White can make John Jones seem to be the good guy here, huh?
Yeah,
it's kind of weird how that works, right? If there's one guy who can make John Jones look good in the people's eye, it is Dana White. So we're talking about just not corporate greed, but greedy promoters.
I think it's just one of those things where you're coming off a canceled event.
Yeah.
Do you want to cancel another event?
Yeah.
No. Even though I think Joseph Benavidez and Demetrius Johnson's fought for the flyweight title, but I guess it wasn't enough star power to cancel it. But
back then.
I was upset back then that they canceled that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But more because it was Dana White's fault for not having a good card. That showed me that he was making weak pay-per-view cards and trying to sell them off to you just because they have one good fight in it.
Well, see, that's almost like the first domino fall. Now every pay-per-view pretty much has 2 title fights on it, right?
And that's what I think every pay-per-view should be. I don't think I think for the Fox Sports and the free ones, I don't mind if there isn't a title shot. Like even we saw Josh Barnett versus Roy Nelson, which I was perfectly fine. But I'm glad that they're starting to do that actually.
So we'll see. But I mean, it's kind of funny. Like if it benefits the UFC, I think they'll let it slide.
Then they'll let it slide, and we won't know about it until a couple years later. Yeah, because how long did it take? In 2012.
Yeah, when it's all watered under the bridge. So I guess that's it for now. So round number 3 is going up next. I want to talk about... What am I talking about round number 3? Oh, stick around. We'll find out.
Thank you.
Round number 3. Albert, let me ask you a question. In mixed martial arts, how much power do the fans have, do you believe?
I wish I could say 60%.
60%?
But nowadays it seems like 40.
40% to the fans? Well, if we ask Johnny Hendricks, former UFC welterweight champion, says the fans have a lot of power because he kind of blaming them for the reason why he doesn't have a title shot.
I wanted him to get a title shot against GSP for the longest. So, if anything, I think the fans were pushing for him to face GSP at the time.
Yeah.
I think he needs to start looking to his left or right, wherever Dana White's standing, and blame him because I clearly remember Dana White saying that he was a boring fighter and that the reason he's not getting a title is because he doesn't show enough as far as putting people away, quote unquote, by Dana White. Yeah,
so he told MMA Junkie this past week that it's not even so much the UFC's fault, it's also the fans. Whenever they do a point of the fans, they might want something different, as opposed to him seeing a rematch with Robbie Lawler or something else. So, I mean, does the UFC really take into consideration what the fans want?
I think they try to make it seem like they take consideration what the fans want, but I think at the end of the day, it has more to do with do you bring in the numbers or not? So I guess you could say, with the fans, I mean, if you're not bringing in those high pay-per-view numbers, why should they push you? I mean, look at Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, Hendricks was a guy who was like on the fast track to like he was a knockout star. He was a
very exciting fighter at one point, and then he almost put away GSP. Yeah, one of the biggest stars UFC ever created. So,
but then all of a sudden he gets in these high leverage bouts and becomes champion and kind of turns a different fighter. I mean, I think one of them said he broke his hand in one fight, right?
Yeah, and
I think Carlos Condit fight broke his hand, didn't he?
Yeah, and I guess that's what he said about not being able to finish that fight, but he promised to finish the next fight.
And then that didn't happen either. So is he right here in blaming the fans, or is he kind of like sour grapes for Johnny Hendricks?
I think it could be a little bit of both. I think he could be pretty much firing the fans up a little bit, maybe get to watch him a little bit more or something like that, or maybe there's like an underlying theme to it. But I just looked quickly right here. The last 4 of his fight were all decisions.
Before that, he was
knocking guys left and right. So, and in a spectacular fashion. So,
and also he was publicly he was outspoken saying, you know what, I didn't have the best training camp. I was overweight coming in the training camp.
Yeah, a lot has to do with the way he was dieting and cutting weight.
So he kind of made it known that, hey, you know what, I'm kind of took it easy this camp. So obviously the fans don't want to hear that. I mean, most of the fans are hardworking fans. They want to at least hear that their favorite fighter is a hardworking fighter. And hopefully admit that, I kind of didn't train so hard this one. Or the weight cut was a little more because of my fault. I wasn't dieting properly before. But, I mean, I like to think that the UFC kind of pulls the fans and who wants to fight next and who should fight next.
I think they try to make it seem like all the fans want to see so-and-so or whatever. But sometimes it's not even the clear case. I mean, like, for example, if that was the case, Chael Sonnen will still be in the UFC.
Or if that was the case, I'm not too sure if Cain Velasquez would even have a title shot right now, would he?
Yeah, exactly.
If we wait for the poll of the fans, either we want to see Verdum versus Velasquez again. Mm-hmm. Or even if they want to see what Robbie Lawler and Carlos Condit's probably good one. But sometimes you deserve it. But sometimes you think, okay, well, maybe the fans were right or wrong. But it's interesting to see that one of the fighters are kind of keeping the pulse on the fans, right? Mm-hmm. That we kind of get on the gripes of the fighters, and they are kind of paying attention to what the fans think. So more so than what NBA stars or like NFL stars or and, MLB stars.
I hate to beat like a dead horse, but I think John Fitch is a good example. I mean, I knew a lot of John Fitch fans.
Yeah.
But yet, the UFC would never get behind him. And, I mean, Diego Sanchez, for crying out loud, has tons of fans. And
shout out to Jason Hendricks right there. He's going to point us out on Twitter.
I have never seen the UFC really get behind Diego Sanchez the way I think they could have gone behind him. I mean, they always wanted a Mexican star. They had one right there, and I don't think they really pushed it. I don't think they pushed it as much as I think they should have. Yeah. Because he could have been a superstar, I thought.
Can you think of a case where the fans are wrong? Maybe the UFC, the fans loved the fighter.
It's an easy one.
Who?
Roger Huerta. He just recently lost. He fought I think it was ONE FC, and he got another loss. And I think that was one of them right there. I think a lot of people jumped on him, and you wanted it, but it just wasn't there, bro.
The fans wanted it. The UFC tried to make it happen, but the fighter couldn't just put the finish line, right?
Yeah.
Or even like Chris Lieben, I think, too. Super fan favorite, but didn't really reach his potential. The UFC tried to get behind him. I think outside stuff got in the way with him as well, right?
Yeah. I guess you could say T. Ortiz kind of falls into this category,
too. A fan favorite.
Yeah, he was always a fan favorite, I guess, but maybe it didn't pan out the way I guess the fans really wanted in his career. I think when Tito talks about it, I don't think it's as big as you would like it to be.
Tito Ortiz, the people's champion. There's only one people's champion. That's The Rock. Thanks for sticking around. Time for round number 4, the first of the championship rounds. So I want to start this round talking about a former champion. Former UFC featherweight champion, to be exact, Renan Barão. Bantamweight champion. Now, rumors report his next fight is going to happen in the featherweight division. It's been like a rumor since even when he was a bantamweight champion. Oh, he should go to 145 and fight.
They would keep.
So I want to ask you this: did TJ Dillashaw chase Renan Barão out of the bantamweight division? Did he beat him out of the bantamweight division? I should say.
I mean, it's not crazy to say, but at the same time, I mean, he's had a rough career because he started off with the bang. I think
Renan Barão.
Renan Barão started off with the bang with his career, and now that he's in what do you say, limbo? I guess you can say. Mm-hmm. What do you do? Like,
you go back to bantamweight. You win 2 more fights. You challenge DJ Shaw one more time, right?
Yeah.
Or is it 2 knockouts and that's it? 2 TKO losses.
I think he. See, look.
He can't beat TJ Dillashaw. Like, I can't. You know what? TJ Dillashaw, too much for me, man. I'm gonna clear.
I don't know if it's because I don't want to give TJ Dillashaw that credit.
Yeah.
Or it's more because it's like almost like the Frankie Edgar syndrome, where it's like, what are you supposed to do once you get 2 title shots?
True.
Right?
And you lose them, right?
Yeah.
Well, Frankie was different. Frankie lost by decision. I think both of them, right? And like...
And clearly Renan Barão got dominated. Yeah. But see, that's the thing. And I'm in a weird place with TJ Dillashaw because he had these impressive wins against Renan Barão, but you really haven't seen him only against Renan Barão. Yeah, as a champion. I mean, he had 1 title defense outside Renan Barão, but come on, man. Like,
it was kind of last minute, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know.
So, if this rumor does come true, do you like Renan Barão at featherweight? So, is it even Jose Aldo? Because they're like best buds and he's champion.
To tell you the truth, I think they're in cahoots here. I think if Jose Aldo, depending on how it goes with Conor McGregor, he's going to go to 155. And I think they have some kind of game plan where they want Renan Barão to take over 145 and want Jose Aldo to move to 155. But I think a big if is what happens. I don't know what their plan is. I think they're hoping Jose wins against Conor and moves up to 155, allowing Renan Barão to just come in. Because I think if Jose Aldo loses at 145, you lose kind of the stock to go to 155.
So aren't you kind of, maybe, if you're Jose Aldo and his camp and his management, aren't you kind of banking on like maybe a trilogy with
Conor?
That way he gets as much money
for
as
the
he can,
money,
and then go up to 155, and then Renan Barão, let Conor McGregor stay here, and then you can challenge him.
And the other thing we don't know, even though they could say until their face turns blue, saying that they're doing the weight cut a lot better, they feel a lot better doing the cut. For a fact those guys are struggling making those cuts, and I think they're like chomping at the bit to be in a bigger weight class. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Renan Barão is dying for that 145, and I bet you Jose Aldo really wants 155.
Especially the older you get too, right?
And doing that big cut. I mean, you've seen them both struggle with weight cuts.
So who do you like for Renan Barão 145? You got Chad Mendes, Frankie Edgar,
To tell you the truth,
Conor McGregor, Cub Swanson.
Honestly, I would start there. Either a Cub Swanson, or you know what? Screw it. Frank Edgar says he was willing to fight everybody, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, he has to first get past Chad Mendes first, right? But for me, it's kind of weird. Like, it's new matchups.
Dude, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be surprised if they do Uriah Faber versus Renan Barão at 145.
I mean, you got guys like Max Holloway, Ricardo Lamas, Charles Oliveira once he gets healthy again. Jeremy Stevens, wouldn't mind seeing him with Renan Barão, Dennis Bermudez, Nick Lance, Clay Guida.
You got Clay Guida still in the ring. I wouldn't mind seeing Clay Guida in there too. I mean, there's tons of options. I think for Renan Barão at 145, at 135. I mean,
well, he cleaned house at 135.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What are you gonna do though?
It's just funny. It's like it's literally one guy sent him packing. Like he cleaned house at 135. He loses badly. Granted, it was badly to TJ Dillashaw. He's like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I don't want to ever face. It's just like I don't ever want to face TJ Dillashaw again. I'm going up. I don't think he can make 135. So you know what? Let's just. I think he can't make 145. So I'm just gonna stay here now. But maybe if that is a plan for Jose Aldo.
At the same time, we have Dominic Cruz coming back. And if he stays healthy, maybe there's a matchup there for Renan Barão too.
Yeah,
maybe that's why the weight. Maybe the reason why he's not as committed to going up. Yeah, I mean it's not 100%.
Yeah, it's just rumors.
That could be it too.
I mean, because he could sit back, have one match, and then maybe get the winner of Dillashaw versus Cruz.
Yeah,
right?
well, best scenario for him is Cruz wins.
Yeah.
And he needs an opponent.
And then you have
Renan Barão. I mean, there's no way you can't fight for him to fight for the title.
I think it's just funny. Like I'm scared of TJ. I'm gonna go to 145. That's the way I'm perceiving it. But maybe TJ, you know what? I sent him packing out of here. You can't cut it at bantamweight anymore. Round number 5, the final round. Let's go ahead and take a look at UFC 192, which is going to take place Saturday, October 3rd, 2015, live from the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Main evented between Daniel Cormier and Alexander Gustafsson.
Which
UFC
I'm
light
not
heavyweight championship.
too excited about.
I
Not
think you were
because
about this
not because I don't like these fighters or I don't respect them. I
Yeah.
don't think they have good fights. It's just I don't know about having a title contender coming off of a loss. I don't feel more comfortable as Alexander Gustafsson wasn't coming so recent off that loss against Rumble Johnson.
It is kind of true, right? He actually, if you want to go deeper than that, he's only 1-2 his last 3. Lost to John Jones, he beat Jimmy Manuwa, and lost to Anthony Rumble Johnson.
See, and that's the only reason why. I mean, I think Alexander Gustafsson is an awesome fighter, entertaining fighter. It's just when it comes to that title,
who would you rather have in the main event against Daniel Cormier?
Well, see, that's the hard part. There was no real clear cut.
Ryan Bader was getting. Remember that?
Hey, look, listen. Do I think Ryan Bader deserves it? No, but if you look at the numbers, he should have been the guy. Let's keep it real. Ryan Bader should have been the guy as far as doing this title fight, and then maybe it should have been Alexander Gustafsson versus Rashad Evans. It should have been Bader versus
but
DC.
You released this on the post of UFC 192, Cormier versus Bader.
That's true. I can understand that they're in some kind of pickle about, as far as draw power.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
All right, so the main event, you're kind of, just the logistics of it you don't like, right? But you like Gustafsson. No, you like Carl. This is going to be a good fight, right?
It should be. It should be a really good fight.
Yep.
I'm still hoping DC is the man to get it done that day.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, as Gustafsson, we know he's been in the trenches with John Jones.
Co-main event, I was excited, but now when the UFC had that little preview of how Johnny Hendricks and Tyron Woodley wrestled in college, and there's beef there, I'm sold on this co-main event. I want to see it happen again now.
What sucks is that I don't think they really promoted this card the best to their abilities.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because they got overwhelmed with the whole Rousey thing that was going on, but I don't think they promoted it right. But that was a beautiful storyline to put out there.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys wrestled, and then now we get to see how they do.
Tyron Woodley called Johnny Hendricks a whiner in college, but Johnny Hendricks beat him, and I think straight up we're getting a wrestling match. Now they're going to fight fisticuffs. Rashad Evans is going to make a return, after how many years?
Again, that could have been another good promo right there. The return of Rashad Evans versus Ryan Bader. 2 Ultimate Fighter champions here.
Another one I'm kind of excited about, Juliana Pena, another Ultimate Fighter winner.
Yeah.
Going to Jessica Ayes. Finally, she was gone for a whole year with the torn ACL.
And then if you want to go even lower, you got Joseph Benavidez in the prelims. You got Rosa and Namajunas is starting off that prelim. So
Against Angela Hill. So maybe if Rose wins, she'll finally get your dream matchup.
I want my dream matchup.
Paige Van Sant versus Rose.
Paige versus Rose.
Also, I think, is this the first time Sergio Pettis is fighting up in weight class? Or didn't he switch weight classes? He moved down, right? Didn't he?
I think he was debating. I think he already went down to 120, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he his last fight was in flyweight, but he had a bad a bad mix up.
I think he's staying at 125 now.
Yeah, and I remember that was the same night where his brother lost the belt. It was just a horrible night to be a Pettis.
For the Pettis family.
Yeah, but I thought he was doing all right in 135, but
125 needs some stars.
Yeah, it does need more star power. Just I don't know. It's a weird case, I think, with Sergio Pettis. Just because you have that name recognition, you can go pretty far. But the fact that you already lost in that weight class, it's kind of hard to kind of bounce back.
So let's pick out some fights. Joseph Benavidez against Ali Bagutina. I feel like Benavidez in this one.
I really do like Joseph Benavidez on this one. I think he has a lot. He has a lot more to lose, though. Especially.
What do you mean? He's already in the Renan Barão. He lost 2 title fights already. So what's he still doing at featherweight, at flyweight?
I think. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think if he loses his bout, he kind of gets erased from this division. But at the same time,
for 115 pounds.
Yeah, but at the same time, if he wins, he just be a guy that just fought for the title.
Yeah.
So at the same time, he stays relevant, but he has a lot to lose. But I have Joseph Benavidez winning the fight.
Juliette Pena versus Jessica, a pretty quick turnaround.
I think it's a huge, and I'm actually kind of torn.
Really? I'm a fan of both fighters.
Yeah,
as well.
I'm a big fan of Jessica and Julia Pena. I don't know how I cannot be a fan of Julia Pena, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know. To me, it's a toss up. I'm
gonna just sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, that's when I got to sit back and really
Evans and Bader. I think I'm going with Bader on this one because he's active. He's more active.
I'm going Bader just because so he can finally get his matchup against DC.
He
deserves it.
Yeah.
Let's give it to him.
I'm going with Tyron Woodley in the co-main event.
No, I'm actually going Johnny Hendricks.
Really?
So
I'm going with Gustafsson. Gustafsson versus Jones.
No, I think DC's going to make it a grind fest and really hammer out that win. Well, he might even get a finish.
Might even. We shall see. So that's it for today's show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We were short a man today. Guillermo Cita, he's doing fatherly duties today.
Of course.
Can't blame him
Something
for that.
We don't know about.
Nope. So until next week, make sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FiveRoundMMA. That's FIVE. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and Podomatic. And please visit FiveRoundMMA.com. You can also check out our podcast at FightBookMMA.com under the podcast section. That's FightBookMMA.com. A big thank you to Rock and Green eco-friendly cleaning products, 5 Rounds clothing line, and of course the RMA Foundation, Redemption Martial Arts, rise up against bullying. Albertito, what do you got?
I think Seth Rollins just exposed Sting.
You did he?
And I'd like to thank everybody for listening, or technician over there, Andre 3000. So thanks everybody for listening.
You are now listening to Afro Mighty Radio.